It's 8:07 at Rise and Shine Vincennes, 55 degrees outside, and joined by Vincennes Mayor Joe Yochum. Good morning, Mayor Yochum. How are you this morning?
Good, good, doing great. Great to be with you.
It's good. It's a weird morning. It's not 95 degrees out already. In
Yeah,
fact, I don't think we're expecting that anytime soon. But big weekend that took place over the weekend. Several things to talk about, and I would say the first one would be the fact that several people decided to take part in the ride benefit for Taylor Hendershot, which took place
right,
leaving out of Vincennes, going around to Mount Carmel through Princeton and back into town. And it was a pretty nice, neat parade of motorcycles and vehicles coming back from that.
right. My understanding is it had a tremendous turnout, and that is all, like you said, for Taylor, but also bringing attention to domestic violence,
Yeah, and that's
which
something that's really bad lately. That's been popping up.
absolutely. That was a very sad situation, and prayers are with the entire family. So,
Right. No, that's and a lot of community outpouring of support for the Hendershot family. I've seen
right,
everything from making sure Waylon, the son, is taken care of for preschool for this year to
right,
making sure things are as normal as possible for him.
yes, yes.
That's
A
just
lot of good people in the community.
that there are.
Yes.
And we're blessed to have a very wonderful community here in Vincennes that supports their own.
Right.
One thing that I was going to bring up today is if you've been out by College Avenue and 14th Street in that area over the last few weeks, you might have noticed some improvements on the roadways.
Yes, I believe our paving is complete for this round, and that included college between 15th and a half and 13th, and then what we call the Pear Orchard area, which is Division, Bell, Bridge, Ash, Wabash Street, all that area. And then we did out off of 61, right there at kind of across from Kimmel Road,
Okay.
which is Turley and Spruce, all those roads out in that area that Wine Sap. So Starking got all those completed.
I had someone ask me, and I'm pretty certain I've heard the answer numerous times over the years. The way you explain how it's determined what streets get paved.
Okay, we have to do, it's called a PASER program. It's a pavement asset management thing that we usually hire a company to do it, to rate our streets from 1 to 10, and then that report has to be sent to NDOT, and then when we apply for road money, we have to basically show that we're trying to fix the worst roads in our community. That way it's not picked by me. The city engineer goes through all this, looks at the PASER program, also looks at the shape the street's in, but also the how busy the street, if it's a major thoroughfare or just a side street or what it is. So all that plays into it, as well as I think the gas company's pretty much done, but they were replacing all the gas lines through the city, and we were working with them to make sure we weren't paving and then they come through and tear it up and put in new gas lines. So
Yeah.
all that plays into it. But the main thing is I don't pick them. City engineer comes to me with a list and says these are the streets that are up on the list, or that would have a traffic count high enough that, and that's mainly major streets like Hart, Washington Avenue, 2nd, 7th, any major street, College. So
Well, and I know Willow Street had new pavement and the road diet it went on as well, but those that may not understand, that was not a city project.
Right, that's NDOT. They did all that, and they've still got the striping to do and the traffic signals to put in at Second and Sixth Street on Vico. Uh, and other than that, I think they're pretty much done.
I know I'm probably going to catch John Sprague at some point in the next few days. Uh, the road diet, it's been about a year since the road diets hit Hart Street. Uh,
Yes,
have you heard
and it
any
has
preliminary?
done exactly what we wanted it to. It's how to prevent accidents and injury to people that are in those accidents. So accidents on Hart Street are way down. Um, so, and everybody seems to have adjusted to it, and traffic moves smoothly out there. Uh, so I'm glad we got that done because there were several accidents every month, rear end and side impact, where people were injured and taken to the hospital, and this was all about safety and trying to prevent those accidents.
Well, and I know you guys, I believe, took several measures to try to improve that before you ended up with the road diet. I think one of those
Right.
was adding an additional light that pointed from the side of Hart Street or the side of 15th Street that goes towards the river, to where you have an extra light you could see
Right.
compared to just the two standard lights at that intersection. And then,
Right.
even then, there were still accidents going on.
Yes, absolutely. So, all in all, it did exactly what we had intended, and I'm pretty sure everybody's used to it by now. So, and I don't hear the complaints like before. But again, it was all to do with safety.
Another thing that has come up to my attention that was brought up to me was the condition of basically Hart Street from Veterans Drive all the way to Kimmel Road, and I think I think this might be another NDOT thing.
No, actually, we paved that a year or two ago of it, but they will do from Kimmel to uh, basically the McDonald's entrance.
Out of
That is
Veterans. Yep.
all there's to do. But along with that, they're also going to put the sidewalk in on, we'll call it the north side of Hart Street. And our sidewalk project, which starts at CVS at 15th and Hart and goes all the way to McDonald's, should be starting any day. So when completed, there'll be a sidewalk all the way down from CVS. Actually, you could say it goes all the way to First Street, all the way out to the school, the
That's
high school, middle school.
that's a lot of sidewalk to be putting in, and of
Yeah,
course, make sure you're watching out for those that are working in that area. Don't hit our construction workers, and don't hit any kids walking to school.
right.
Tonight, City Council, Board of Works meeting at City Hall. Board of Works meets
Yeah,
at 5, City Council afterwards. What are some of the things on the list tonight?
right. And I will say, Border Works is 5 o'clock, and you can watch that. We have a YouTube channel that you can get to, I believe, through our app because our website's down. But you can watch that live and or come to the meeting at 5 o'clock, City Hall. Border Works, we have reports from the police department, street and sanitation, parks department, and city engineer. Those are department head reports. And then new business is a road closure request for Terra Force. That is at the Pantheon. They're having an Ag Technology Day. I believe it's September the 4th. Um, let me look real quick.
Live,
September the
live and
4th,
local, ladies and
and we
gentlemen.
will close Fifth Street between Main and Bustrin from um, early that morning until about 7 or 8 in the evening. And I'll be honest, I think they're doing the demonstration of the robotic melon picker. So if you get a chance, go downtown and see that.
I saw some pretty
Uh,
cool video on that
yes.
a while back.
And that's the individual that's developed it. and building is working out of the Pantheon. And then we've got a 2025 rendezvous lease agreement. Regina Blinn, or Councilwoman Blinn, will be here to request the Witches Ride event for this fall. And then we've got a curb cut on South 14th. And then we're going to sign a contract, design contract for Richard Bauer Drive, which runs from Hart to Main out by the middle school and the high school. We're going to redo all that and redo the road and add sidewalks and things. So, and then French Commons lease concerns, we have an individual coming for that.
That is Board of Works at 5. What's on City Council list for tonight?
City Council is 6 o'clock, and again, you'll watch that on our YouTube channel. The only thing on here is we've got 3 ordinances, one ordinance amending Board of Works appointments, an ordinance for downtown building usage, and an ordinance make some changes to our employee handbook. And then other than that, we'll pay the claims and payroll, and that's pretty much it.
Well, some things going on down at the City Hall tonight. 5 o'clock for Board of Works, 6 o'clock for City Council. You can watch them on the City of Vincennes YouTube channel if you have a chance to get through the City of Vincennes app, which, by the way, free to download, iOS or Android devices. Lots of cool things you could check out. You can even see the train cameras.
Right, absolutely. And I encourage everybody to download the City app. It has a lot of information. There's a reporter where you can report any issue you see, whether it be a pothole or a stop sign that's been knocked over or a broken swing in the park. Whatever it is, you can report it through there. And if you have your location on it, it will pinpoint that and show us exactly where you're at and what it is that needs fixed. But also, you said the railroad link is on there. From time to time, trains will stop and block a few crossings, and they're usually the south side of town, from Main to out past 15th, and that's because the railroad is switching out cars in that switch yard out that area. So when that train stopped, wherever it is, even if it's north, you can click on that our app and click the railroad link, and it will show you what crossings are open. And it's just the major crossings. I think we have 15th, Main, Hart, maybe College, Washington Avenue, St. Clair, and 2nd. But if it's green, the crossing's open. If it's red, it's closed, and that way you can find your way around the train without sitting there and wondering, here I'm stopping this train. I can't see where it's at either way. Do I go right or left to try to get around it? So just use the app and click on that, and you'll get around the train.
Well, and also, too, one thing I could figure out is if it's on the slow loop, which is what I call the portion of the track where it loops back to the west from the south track and going towards Illinois. And trains really aren't running that right now. Basically, all we have is the north-south, and there may be one train that goes east-west, and that's usually of an evening late. So right now, that's not a big issue. And when the time comes that if they do start running trains that way again, we'll just add additional cameras to watch those crossings. I believe Vincennes, one of 4 cities in the state that have this camera system that I've seen. I believe Terre Haute, Muncie, and I can't think of the other one offhand. But
but yeah, I think it's a huge benefit.
It's a nice tool to have.
Yes, it is, because a lot of people were getting stopped, and because those trains will sit there sometimes up to 3 hours.
Yeah, that's so. Well, this morning,
and I know it's very frustrating.
Yeah, this morning I was on the way to get breakfast before I jumped on air here at 5, and on my way, not an issue. Got stopped by a train on my way back, and managed to get here with 3 minutes to spare.
Good. Also on that app is a community calendar. And I
Yes.
will say, if your group has an event that you want on that calendar, you call City Hall, 812-882-7285, and either talk to Samantha or Cheryl, and we'll make sure we get that on the calendar. Uh, and that's another good feature of the app is most events are on our calendar on that app. So if you ever think there's nothing to do, just open that app and click on the calendar, and you'll see what else is going on, if we're aware of it.
Coming up in a couple weeks, we won't get to talk next week because of Labor Day. The week after
Right?
that, you will be on a trip to Japan. Let's talk about that.
Correct. Yes. Um, Knox County Economic Development Director Chris Paff and I will be traveling to Japan. I think we leave the 4th, and then we get back the 14th or 15th. But this is the Midwest Japan Economic Development Conference. That's every year. It rotates between the United States and Japan. This year it's in Japan. Last year it was Columbus, Ohio, and we attended it there. And then next year it'll be in Indianapolis, and we'll go. So this is basically making connections with Japanese companies and hopefully attracting. I'm not going to say we're going to attract one. We go over there and make connections to hopefully attract businesses in the future, but also to visit the headquarters of both our Japanese companies that we presently have, which is FIA and Excel. So, with the Japanese, it's they really really like the in-person connection, and we'll be headed over there and be sitting in meetings for several days, and looking forward to it. So,
Well, you mentioned FIA and Excel, but so much of this area, there's so many heavily involved Japanese companies, not to mention
right,
Toyota, which is just
right,
down the way in Gibson County. Also, across the river, you have Toyota Bushuku, Illinois, or what some may know as ATS. There are just so many companies around here that benefit from
right,
the meetings that are coming up next week or
right.
2 weeks from now.
And also with that, the state will have or they typically have a Indiana reception set up one evening where, because there's I think 30 or 40 people from Indiana, mayors and economic development directors going this year, and they'll have an Indiana reception night where all the companies are invited to come meet with the Indiana people. So, and that's always a good time and a good way to meet new companies.
Coming up, well, I say coming up, this just was announced Thursday. VU enrollment is up 5% over last year, getting to the levels that were last seen in 2023. It's always nice to see more students on campus.
Absolutely. That just not only does that bring money to our community, but it also hopefully brings some employees. Hopefully these students will work in some of our local establishments because everybody knows everybody is looking to hire people. So hopefully they take advantage of the opportunity to work too.
Well, one more thing, and we didn't get to talk before or after this because of scheduling, but World Series here in Vincennes at the Vincennes Public Complex. One comment I always hear is it's always ran so well here in Vincennes.
Yes. Kirk Bushy and Becky Bushy and their entire group do an amazing job. That is a lot of work that is planned months in advance, so it's not just like it happens over a month or something, but there's planning that goes on for several months. And, that brings a lot of people to Vincennes. I think Chris over at Economic Development said it was estimated that will bring $6 to $7 million into our community through these teams, staying in hotels, eating, visiting our different sites, and I can tell you, we've had an amazing group. With all the families that help take care of the teams and stuff. Uh, they did an amazing job. They really did.
And we had teams that were here from the Philippines, Mexico, I
Yes,
believe Aruba.
yes, as well as Hawaii. And
Yes.
the it's not funny, but it's kind of odd that the championship game came down to two teams from Hawaii, and I think in their regular season they play each other. So it's kind of funny that they traveled over 4,000 miles to play each other to see who the champion was. So,
Couldn't
but
be any worse than,
they were really good games.
I was going to say, could not be any worse than seeing certain things with the IHSA, say Reveille playing Turkey Run for a state title in 2011, all the way in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Right, right. So anyway, it was a lot of good baseball. I know I've heard from restaurants that all of them did exceptionally well. So excited to hear all that.
I was going to say, a few times after I left the complex, I went down to Dragon 2000, and that place was packed to the gills. Not that it's
Yes.
not normally packed, but it was extra packed.
Right,
Which
right. So,
is nice
and it's
for
good
them.
to see all that. And that's happened, I don't know, about every 2 to 4 years. So I know a lot of people like to see that every year, but it takes a tremendous amount of work to pull that off. And it's Kirk Bushy and Becky Bushy and their entire group out there. That is all volunteer. And when you think of the benefit that it brings to our community, you can't thank all those individuals enough.
Mayor Joe Yochum, thanks for joining us. How do they get in contact if there's issues going on with the city?
Again, you can do report it on our app, or you can call City Hall at 812-882-7285.
As that is Mayor Joe Yochum from Vincennes City Hall. We will catch up again in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. As